Hi Jeff, we've got two pieces of equipment here that we're looking at today, both ULV ultra low volume misting machines, so to speak. Could you tell us a little bit about each machine and the differences that we'd expect to see on each machine?
In both cases, fairly low capacity. They're machines that you direct at particular areas in a void, and why I mean that is that they've got handles on them that you can direct towards an area that you want to treat. They're a lot more portable, but with that means that their capacity is a fair bit lower as well. They're fairly light, small tanks, probably about 4 or 5 litres each, and the output is somewhat restricted to some of the bigger machines that we might see available as well.
Okay, fantastic. So if we just take a look at the Dynafog Hurricane Ultra, for example, what are some of the features on the Dynafog Hurricane that we can point out?
Well, look, they're probably common to both machines, to be truthful. Obviously, they're both 240 volt machines, so you need a source of power, and sometimes that can be a good thing in enclosed environments, not having a combustion engine running in a confined environment or potential combustion environment. And we've basically got a tank at the bottom that we fill up with our solution, and we have a flow mixing valve coming out of that tank. That's picked up via Venturi, so a lot of the other technology that's available pressurizes the tank and pushes the fluid out. This actually draws it out through a Venturi. Lot simpler technology, not as precise. We have, with this particular machine, we have 3 settings, and we have almost infinitely variable on the vector fog. And that allows us to set the size of the droplet coming out of it. Both machines are somewhere around about 5 to 50 microns. That means that we can probably do jobs that involve stored product pests inside warehouses, whether they be on a surface or in the air. Yep. So the bigger the droplet, the faster it will hit a surface and land on a surface. Probably better suited for cockroaches and spiders in warehouses. And as we get those droplets smaller, we start to pick up some of the flying insects that might be in a warehouse as well. Okay. Keeping in mind that both these machines are going to have a fairly broad spectrum of droplets in that range, so they're probably going to cover both bases. And I guess one of the advantages of these portable devices that you're directing at a surface, they're probably better suited hitting targets that are fixed as opposed to ones that are in the air.
So you mentioned the calibration. The calibration is a difficult thing for these particular pieces of equipment, more so than some of the other equipment that's petrol powered or... Yeah,
well, certainly when we're trying to work out how much product we're going to need to do a job, we're obviously working out the size of the area we want to treat, and thinking about what targets we're trying to hit. With this sort of machine, we don't have the ability to measure the liquid coming out of the machine. What we have to do is put liquid into the machine, run it for a period of time, say 20 minutes, and then measure how much product has been used. That'll give us an idea of how much flow rate we've got. We can't disconnect the hose because the hose needs to be drawn out, or fluid needs to be drawn out through that hose via the fan. So it always has to stay connected. We can't put a bag on the front of this machine. Obviously it's going to blow the bag off. So we can measure the fluid in and how much we've got left over to give us an idea of flow rate. Yep. That will give us an idea of how much has been used, but it doesn't tell us how big the droplets are. Yep, yeah. So these machines have charts and tables that come with them, and generally if you've got more flow, that means you're going to have bigger droplets closer to that 50 microns. Yep. Vector Fog's got a one outlet system. We've got like a tri-jet type system here with a Dynafog. To be honest, there's probably not a lot of difference in the real world performance. They're both very portable. Dynafog's got, I guess, the ability to tilt the machine as you're carrying it around, but I think it probably comes down to user preference, to be honest. I don't think there's much between the two machines.
So Jeff, what is the ultimate droplet size that we're looking for with a product like Aqua K?
Daryl, probably the 20 micron range is ideal as a VMD. These machines are going to give you somewhere between 5 and 50. So we have quite a range there, and at 5 microns, we're probably a little bit too small, and at 50 microns, we're going to see the product drop out fairly quickly, but it's probably better suited to targets that are on surfaces, and for our flying insects, we're probably wanting to get closer to the 20 micron.
So using this piece of equipment, the Dynafog Hurricane, being able to adjust the angle of the output, does that mean I can just let it sit in the corner of the room and carry out a treatment?
Look, you'd think so. I think one of the things that we see with this machine is that when people put it in the centre of a room, walk away and let the treatment carry out, and that the intake of this machine starts sucking in the droplets that we're putting out in that void, and it means that we fill the mechanism of the fan motor with moisture. We sometimes can get short, but we'll certainly get corrosion of there, and we have people bringing in machines to distribution with potential leaks when in fact it's our droplets that we're sucking back in the intake during application. So really what you want to be doing is hanging on the machine at all times, directing it to the areas you want to treat, working away from the back end of your warehouse towards the exit.
As Jeff mentioned, both machines have an advantage in a confined indoor environment due to the absence of combustion engines. Both machines allow you to direct the treatment to a specific area. They're both portable, but within power lead constraints. The droplet size isn't very precise, but has a variable range. And the treatment distance for both machines is around 30 metres.